Hey, everybody, welcome into Day by Day, Michigan post-game reaction here. Several hours later, we've had some time to decompress. You can find us on characterchronicles.com, YouTube, Apple, Spotify. Like and subscribe to the show. We're almost to 200 followers, and we know that this will get the most views of any show yet this season because we lost. You can tell my voice is a few octaves lower. I lost it on the Hail Mary. And my boys dogpiled me. It was great. I don't even think my 6-year-old knew what happened, but he went nuts because we were going nuts. But so that's why I'm a little raspy right now. So I mean, a lot to react to, and I think the important thing to remember, again, we own a small corner of the Husker fan base, but two of us right here, and I don't know what you said, Andrew, but Alex and I, we said this week Nebraska would win, but before the season, we kind of chalked this game up as a loss. And so we didn't think Nebraska would win initially. None of us said Nebraska was going to the playoff at the beginning of the year. I think all of us thought next year was the year they could make that run. I know there's a different schedule, but gosh, teams are so different year to year. So the season's not lost. And I think, but if you were to look at Twitter, I mean, we're talking about people saying we should have a different quarterback playing. There should be guys fired. What is going on? So I think we have a little bit of steam to blow off here, but I want to talk about some important things that happened today. So anyway, just initial response from you guys. What are some of your main takeaways coming out of the game now that you've had 3 hours to decompress?
Start it off, Andrew.
I'm coming out of it I don't know. It was different than losing like last minute field goal or something. Like I kind of saw it coming. And then there was a little hope when we scored that last touchdown that maybe we could make something happen. And
hey, how about that onside kick from Cunanan? It was a good onside kick.
And Carter Nelson right there. It just kind of jumped a little too soon. But you kind of felt like we were losing it. You saw we were losing it in the trenches. It felt we were getting around a little bit. But it didn't. I don't know. I was proud of the team to stick in it, to bring it tied at halftime, to come back to within 3 towards the end. I think it's progress. I think you could have seen this thing get away from us and be down 2-3 scores, even worse. So the optimist says we walk away and evaluate some of those holes on defense, obviously, try to get better from them. Like you said, this wasn't we weren't chalking it up as a win. I thought we had a better chance of losing this than we did, one of these next 4. I think a lot of people kind of say we're going to stub our toe against Minnesota or Michigan State or Maryland, but this is the one that I felt like we'd lose. So there's room to get back on track, I guess. So that's kind of the optimist. I think that one of the turning points I felt like was a big momentum killer was Barney trying to field that punt at the 2. Because you just get a stop on defense. You come out of halftime, get that stop, get the ball back, and you're thinking, okay, we can go down and take the lead. And then it just kind of got us stuck down there on that end.
Yeah, you just can't do that.
Yeah.
Can't do that.
So I'm going to start on the defensive side of the ball, guys. I mean, and this is kind of how we opened it up before the show started, right? We were talking about it. If I get the exact numbers wrong, I apologize to whoever will correct us in the comments here, but at one point, it was either early first quarter or late in the third. They put up a stat on the screen, and I was at a 1-year-old's birthday party, so like I wasn't as locked in as I wanted to be, but I was pretty locked in. On 3 scoring plays, Michigan had 166 yards.
You're right,
and then on 31 or 36 other plays, they had a total of 131 yards.
Yep.
We also held Underwood, the number 1 recruit last year, to under 110 yards passing.
Yep.
and I'm trying to explain this to several people in my group chat. If you look at raw stats, like most people do, that defensive line was awful, right? Like if I just looked at the box score, that's exactly what I would say.
Yep.
But after hearing guys like Tony White talk about this defense last year, which is very similar, right, over the last 2 years, which is very similar to what they're doing this year. There's a couple of things that are different, but overall, those roles are still the same, right? We're in agreement there. The defensive line's job is still the same.
Yep.
The defensive line's job is to suck up offensive linemen and allow the linebackers and the safeties to clean up. Where did we not clean up today, guys?
Yep. Second and third level.
Yep.
I mean, tackling was just bad across the board. Bad. I mean, they broke quite a few tackles where, I mean, Andrew Marshall had a guy on third down on a screen, had him trapped, let him break free. I mean,
yards later,
they were key moments. Like those were tackles you have to make. Like, even all the way to the end, you had to make that tackle and not allow the first down, and they just let him slip through. Like,
and I'm not absolving the tackle issues. But what I'm saying is, like, the defensive line did their job for the most part. They weren't great, but they did their job.
No, I mean, let's be clear. The goal of the defensive line in a 3-3-5 defense is not to make splash plays. It's not to accumulate tackles. It's not even to put pressure on the quarterback, right? And that's why you have those outside linebackers who sometimes they're in the 3, right? They're in the jack is sometimes a defensive end. Sometimes there's 5 guys at the line of scrimmage, right? So their job, like you said, is to kind of slog up the offensive line so linebackers can make plays, so that a blitzing safety can make a play. Michigan was 1 of 9 on third down until that 16 play drive.
Yeah.
Where they went 3 of 3 on third down. Or 3 of 4 if they end up kicking. That was the one they kicked the field goal on. Those third down plays where we missed tackles, like, you know who missed the tackles? Was defensive backs and linebackers on those 3 plays. So just to say, oh man, our line, we're not good in the trenches. Okay, yeah, maybe we're slight, but it's not like you could just pin it on those 3 to 5 guys who are rotating in and out throughout the whole game.
It's kind of like what we see in the Cincinnati game, and Rule referenced it. He even said that Phil Snow talked to him after the first quarter of Cincinnati, where they were concerned about angles that we were taking.
Yeah.
And like some of that reared its head again. It's just out of position. Not a whole lot of guys around, not a lot of black shirts there. You got one guy one-on-one, and he's out of position. He's making a bad angle, and boom, you're screwed. So
now let's talk about the touchdown run you were telling us about before we hit record here.
Yeah, and I'll send the clip later. Like, it is, I think it's 10-10 at this point on Haynes' long touchdown run. Buford whiffs, and I mean doesn't even get a hand on the guy. Now that's bad. 100% that's bad. But if you break it down, like I watched this play over and over. It was sent in one of my group chats. Like, Javin Wright misses his read and then gets sucked up by a lineman at 5 yards. The most concerning part, I mean, Javin Wright being bad there was bad. Vincent Shavers actually makes him make a cut back into the inside a little bit. And then, but the most concerning part for me on this is when you see Haynes start to make his move on Buford, Singleton, the other deep safety, is just now starting to make his break towards the ball. Like, you're 3 seconds into the play, you're 10 yards away, and it's over at that point. Buford's attacking the outside hip, trying to push him back into the help, still has to make that play, like, not absolving him. But there's 2 other seniors. So on that play, you have 3 seniors just completely miss their cues. And you can't have that from seniors, especially guys that have been there for a long time.
Yep. Yeah, and I don't think it was a case of not being aggressive or getting out physicaled.
No.
To me, it was, I mean, Shavers talked about this in the post game, the communication, intentionality, and trusting your training, playing with right technique. And you saw it several times, the angles, like just like you're not going to be able to make that play taking that angle.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what Buford was doing on that play. I don't even know what he was, because he didn't really, somebody made a comment like, oh, another missed tackle. And I was like, could you even call that a missed tackle? Like, he didn't even make an attempt to tackle him.
Yeah.
So that happens pre-snap. That happens as the play's coming toward you.
Mm-hmm.
Like, man, if you give up a 12-yard run, like I think even Gary Danielson said, like, this should be a nice 10 or 12-yard run, not a 75-yard touchdown.
Mm-hmm.
So, okay, give up 10 yards. That was for me going into the game. I was like, I'm okay actually if Michigan kind of just dinks their way down the field, because I still, even after watching the game, I still don't trust Bryce Underwood throwing the ball on 3rd and short. He couldn't do it.
Yeah.
When he did, they couldn't catch it.
They couldn't catch. And while we didn't sack him a ton, we did put pressure on him, and he made poor throws. He was 54%. So what you couldn't do, though, was give up 50-plus yard runs, and that's exactly what they did.
And we've talked about this several times. I wish Mike was here to jump in on this one too, because Mike and I think we're all in agreement here, but Mike and I may have voiced it more. Like, I can live with some broken plays if we're playing aggressive.
Yeah.
I can't live with 3 50-yard touchdown runs because of bad tech. Like, that wasn't aggressiveness. That was just bad technique.
No,
that's something that you didn't fix. Like,
hey, you know what? We were also talking about the Andrew Marshall missed 3rd down on that screen where he missed that tackle, right? I think the most infuriating part of that play to me, after watching that specific replay, and similar to the one that we just broke down, the 75-yard touchdown run, is, and I'm going to preface this with, I'm not trying to be hard on Singleton. It's just the guy I noticed on both of these. Still trying to get the call out as the ball is snapped. Like, on that screen, you have 3 DBs trying to figure out who's guarding what right there. Sure. And Singleton's one of them. And I think Guthrie actually pushed him out of the way on it right before the snap. Something like that. But, like, you're at that point, it looks like to me they're overthinking.
Sure.
Yep. I got to go back to offense a little. So, because in my prediction, I felt like giving up 30, I felt like we still should give us a chance to win this thing. The first 2 drives, you got to finish those. I mean, like James, I think you had said, get 6 out of the 2, out of both of them, and you win the game essentially. Now things change. Obviously, they happened so early in the game, but I don't know if they came out. Dylan obviously looked like a freshman out there. I think that he was rattled. He was running all over the place, making some poor choices with his throws. But yeah, you got to settle in and figure out a way to score in the red zone or close. Yeah. I mean, I said I'm going to be thinking about that the entire game, and then it came back 1 score loss, and it's pretty to point to something like that. So
they had a really long 1 yard to get on that 4th down. That was that the play they threw the shovel to Lindenmeyer. Yeah, and I
threw it too soon and didn't let the blocking set up or something.
Yeah, and I don't know if the call is the call. Sometimes those little tight ends shovel passes look brilliant, right?
Yeah.
But I just felt like going down that quickly and then stalling out, go get the 3 points, because you're playing Michigan, who is, again, they don't put up a ton of points, or at least they don't, I know they did last week. Take your points, build some momentum. To me, the risk just outweighs the reward, because if if you get 3, okay, that's nice. But if you don't, you see what happened, right? And Michigan just is energized. Now we go back to the 2nd and 3 call, which was kind of a fade to your shortest receiver. I don't know why you don't run a fade to Key or Carter Nelson if you're going to run fades. I know our group chat, I don't think any of us like fades in the end zone on 2nd and 3. I'm not a fan.
No, I mean 1st and 5, I'm okay with it.
Yeah.
So I want to go back to the left points on the board. If you go back, let's just assume first drive they field goal, right?
Yeah.
You probably don't get the field position for that second drive, so we'll chalk that up to 6, right? But then you have Isaiah Hunter run out of the end zone.
Yep.
Yeah.
There's points left.
So yeah, I mean, we'll call that because they kicked the field goal on that drive, right? So we'll call that 7 points total.
4. Yep.
But Michigan also left 4 out there.
Yeah.
When they missed their halfback pass.
Yeah.
And
so, it happened.
We steal 7 on a Hail Mary. I mean, it's, so
yeah. So really butterfly effect, like
down,
I'm not totally like I didn't love the 4th down. I'm in agreement there. You know where I wanted us to go for it on 4th down? It was like a 3rd and 10, 3rd and 9, something like that. Dane Key caught a sticks route that should have been a slant, and you're 6 inches.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now I know you're deep in your own territory.
Yeah.
But I think that's one when you're playing from behind. I think that's the one you got to take.
Sure.
You leave the field goal out there, though. I mean, let's say they go for that 4th down on the first drive, but then you miss the field goal on the second drive. Like, both teams left points out on the board, so like, I'm not gonna do the butterfly effect. Like, bottom line is, you make three tackles on 50-yard plus runs, you probably win this game.
Absolutely, yep.
True. Yeah,
just 3 tackles.
Yeah. No, people were frustrated with the offensive line. Let's talk about the line a little bit. The running game wasn't pretty. Edge protection wasn't pretty. I don't think Nebraska will play another defense that's aggressive as Michigan was until they get to Penn State. It's not gonna come against Michigan State, Minnesota, Maryland, Northwestern, UCLA. I don't even know if UCLA still has a team, by the way. USC, you're not going to see that. We know what Iowa is. I think we know Iowa is a very average defense. So I'm not as concerned, but it was concerning, I think, to see how easily, whether it was Pritchett, whether it was Prohaska, whether it was Gatula, they just struggled on the edges.
Yeah. Yeah, and you had Dylan get stepped on. It felt like he often had not a defender in his face, but one of his own linemen's backside in his face because they were getting shoved back into him a little bit. Like, it felt like he got pretty crowded pretty quickly. But then again, he threw for 300 yards and 3 touchdowns. So it's not like, I want to say, like, go back to last year when Illinois sort of figured us out. Iowa brought a lot of pressure. Teams figured out, hey, get him rattled, get back in the pocket quickly. He still managed to make he had some elite throws in this game.
Did he still hold on to the ball too long at times? You talked about Alex. He's got to throw that away, especially a first down. Yeah. Don't take the sack, just throw it away.
Step up. I think like he's got to kind of learn that the new that two, step up, take 2 steps up, and then he did that a few times and tried to release kind of a funny, arm angle ball, and it didn't work out. But
can I convince you that our tackles are too tall? And
I've been saying that for years.
Not only does that hurt their ability in pass pro, but you saw it when Dylan got stepped on. It might affect his ability to step up in the pocket because they have to put their legs so far back to have any leverage.
Yeah.
I mean,
for me,
even when he tries to step up, the pocket where he's trying to step is dirty. It's murky.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yep.
Yep.
I've been saying that for years. I think the time of 6'7", 6'8" tackles is over. Let's move. I'm sorry to those guys. This is not a height discrimination, but it's just not here, or go somewhere else. I don't mean the guys we have currently. I just mean in the future.
Learn tight end in basketball. Your knees will feel better when you're
tight
40.
end in basketball. It's just it's all. I mean, it's different. I mean, Dylan's even a big guy, but you think about throwing over somebody that's 6'8".
Yeah,
it's hard to do.
I think he could have. He held on to it. I don't know. It was hard. It's hard to answer that because we're not seeing how the routes are.
We can't
evolving,
see that. Yeah,
opening up down there. So, yeah, I felt like if he had one more second, maybe. But again, it always felt like he had a lineman being pushed back into his face. So.
Yeah, and so I want to go back to our keys of the game the other night, guys. Like, I'm the one who vocalized it, but I think everybody agreed. Like, we knew offensive line was going to be a little bit of a struggle, and where were we going to make that better?
Mm-hmm.
Run after the catch.
Yeah.
And I don't think we did a good job of that again today. And we didn't do a lot of quick game to give them that opportunity.
No, which was surprising to me, to be honest.
Yeah. And give it to Michigan. They were sound tackling. Like
they were.
Oh yeah.
It felt like how many of those throws, Dylan, he hit a guy and within a split second somebody's on him. Sometimes a little early and it didn't get called.
Yeah. But I mean, it felt like even like on our slants, those were more of like inside hook routes versus an actual slant. Like guys were stopping. Some of that is Dylan just putting it right on them at the break and not letting them get out of the break. But some of that is timing. But I mean, I said this, out of the 7 sacks, I would say somewhere between 2 to 4 fall on Dylan and Dana. At least to some degree, whether that is throw the ball away,
I agree,
or just missing a read.
Yeah.
Now, I still would, let's call it 4. I still think 3 sacks because your offensive line failed is too many. But it shouldn't have been 7 today by any means.
No. That and I don't even want to say, okay, I don't want to say they lost the game because they had 7 sacks. I think to your point, you make a few tackles on defense and you win the game, but you don't give up a couple sacks. You keep the ball a little longer. I don't, all these little details, like every little detail impacts the game. And I think a lot of these things are fixable.
Yeah.
So let's go back to the defensive line. You can't fix your size, but you can fix the route you take to the ball when you're coming up in run support as a safety. So fans who are listening, I think you should be encouraged. Like, Dylan said after the game, it sucks to have a bye week now. Like, I actually think this is the perfect time for them to have a bye week. They need to let their anger stew for a little bit. That'll happen for probably 24 hours. And then they'll be back to work on tomorrow. And these things you have to get right. Your pass protection, you have to get right. But if you can't, if a tackle can't block for 4 seconds, well, then you got to make some quicker throws and let your receivers run after the catch.
I also like the idea of rolling out too. Like they started to roll out a little bit.
Yeah, just a little bit.
A little. I'd like to do it a little more.
Yeah.
But bright side, guys, we're not a top 10 team getting beat 56-10 right now. Like
I'm watching it.
Oh my word! What is Kurt Signetti? As much as we can hate his personality, wow.
Now, I have not watched this game. I just needed to take a break. I mean, have you guys watched it? Is Illinois not good up front?
I think Illinois has now given up 10 sacks. Luke Altmaier is running
mobile
for his life.
Yeah.
Let me look it up right now.
While you're looking, my other bright side is we're not sitting here saying there's a ton of stuff broken. We're not sitting here talking about Wisconsin, Luke Fickell, like level of our offense is inept, our defense has massive holes. Like I watched most of that game, and they looked like Nebraska of 5 years ago, where it was like
the Wisconsin.
Yeah, Wisconsin. Yeah. They're trying to figure stuff out, and it doesn't look good there.
Yeah, let's talk about some positives. I think again, Kanaan missed a field goal, which happens, but
you jinxed him.
I did. And then Barney makes that, Barney's trying to make a play on a punt return, and that's why he caught that ball on the 4-yard line. But Archie Wilson was great. The kickoffs were great. Coverage was great.
Snaps were clean. Holds
were clean. Like special teams didn't lose this game. Again, you could make the argument that Barney's catch, but again, I do not attribute that to scheme or coaching. That's a guy who was the playmaker of the day. He was the best player on our side today, trying to make a play.
Yeah.
And he did something stupid that I can guarantee you his coach will say, you never do that again, or you won't be back there again because you cost your team.
Yeah.
But so special teams drastically improved. Our wide receivers, again, so I think Hunter's eyes were on Dylan when he was running that route. I don't think it had anything to do with the red.
No,
paint.
Not at all.
His eyes were up, and I think he just kind of lost track of where he was. Not excusable, but I think that's just the reason.
Yeah.
Outside of that, like our receivers, if the ball is to them, they catch the ball.
Mm-hmm.
Holy cow. Last year, guys, how many times were we talking about drops?
Yeah.
Like every game. So, even with the duress that Dylan was under, he goes 73%, 41 passes. So it just offensively, and I know Emmett didn't have the best game, but there wasn't a lot of room to run.
Right.
I liked what I saw from Nelson when he was in there. I don't know what that means going forward. I think you're going to see a lot more of him now that we're in Big Ten and we'll be on Michigan. But
no Ives today. That was interesting.
Yeah, well, he's not the second string running back.
Right. But
according to the depth chart.
Last week, sure thought he was going to be. Yeah, it was weird. But
Dylan made the one.
He's all the way healthy.
Yeah. Could be.
I don't know that for certain, but he still looks like he runs goofy.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I felt like he's always run goofy.
Yeah.
I think big backs just run with a hitch in their step.
Yeah, and it's
Dowdell did it.
It's not like Ives would have broke through the holes. Like, I mean,
no,
being a big lower back, like he wouldn't have had any more success than Emmett had. So
can I say something about the run game and the line too, James?
Sure.
Like,
please do.
I did about lose it. Like, we're all in agreement that Michigan is one of the best two defensive lines we're going to see all year, right? Like,
oh yeah, bar none.
And I think everybody here knows that I am a big Heinrich Haarberg guy. Like, I've gone out on that limb. I defended him as a quarterback. I think he's a good player. I think he's selfless, blah, 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 blah. When we're playing against a team like Michigan, I think it is fool's gold to run to his side of the field as the edge blocker against that defensive line. Nothing against him. He doesn't have a lot of experience learning how to block, and he will put his life on the line to do it.
Yeah.
But his technique isn't there to be the guy to set the edge.
No.
Just a couple of plays I saw in the third quarter that drove me crazy watching that.
Yeah. Agree. I mean, that's got to be Lindenmeyer, right?
Yeah.
Heinrich's a bigger frame, but when you think about a tight end, and I mean, Lindenmeyer is just more, I mean, he's a few inches shorter, probably got a few pounds on Haarberg.
Mm-hmm.
Just makes more sense that he's the blocker in that situation. There were a few times
his whole life.
and he's done it his whole life. There were a few times where they kind of ran that counter. I don't know if it was a tight end or a receiver, where the receiver was just coming in motion just a little late getting there. It was a little bit of a scramble. So there were just some timing things, I think, too, from the offense that, it wasn't their day. But that happens when you play a defense that plays as fast and aggressive and is like, they have a couple first round picks in that front seven. Their DBs were not good. And that's why Dylan threw for 300 yards, right? You saw what their DBs were like on a Hail Mary, right? My son is sitting there. My son plays defensive back in flag football. And I said, that's why you always knock down the ball, son. You don't try to pick it off.
Also,
right. They're deep.
Box out Barney. Like, what?
Oh my gosh. You let the smallest guy on the field catch the ball. So their DBs weren't good, but their front seven's legit.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Their front seven's going to win them a lot of games.
Yeah.
Now, I think, to talk about we keep talking about our defensive line. If you have a Ty and a Nash on this team, I think that probably masks a lot of the issues that we saw today with the defensive back tackling and the line. I wouldn't even say linebacker tackling. I'd say sometimes the linebackers they're just gone. You don't even know that they're on the field.
Mm-hmm.
They either get sucked into the scrum or they miss a tackle. And so
we don't have anybody
their name.
We don't have anybody you have to double team. I mean, so
No.
I don't want to blame it on the line, but yeah, if you had a Robinson in there, it might warrant bringing another guy on him or something. So,
guys, Indiana plays Iowa next week. How many points do you think Indiana's going to score?
Well, it's Signetti. How much did Iowa give up last night?
Like 28. They win like 38-28, something like that. 24.
Yeah, 28. Was it 30?
I'm going to say 42.
Yeah, it's going to be ugly. Anyway, Alex, did you have a thought there? Did I cut you off?
No. I mean, I guess I would say my biggest gripe from the game today, outside of the tackling, is there was probably a period in the third quarter and part of the second where Dana let me down. Like, it became every first play we're going to run the ball, and then we're going to do a long developing pass. Like, sometimes you got to mix it up, and that is a far cry from what we have talked about as a fan base for a long time.
Yeah.
But you have the quarterback and the receivers to be able to throw on first down.
Yep.
But other than that, man, I mean, we could talk about the 3rd and 14 tight end screen that brought back Satterfield against Ohio State memories.
That had to be something like we're going to try to catch them off guard because they've never run that play this year.
No.
And there's another touchdown for Indiana, 63-10.
Oof. Remember this, Husker fans. It could always be worse.
Yep. I think, we did see some things today from Dana that we hadn't seen. That Barney up the seam throw.
Yeah.
We hadn't seen that.
That weird little
post for a touchdown.
Say that again.
The Dane Key post for a touchdown off a double move.
Yep.
That weird little circle handoff thing they did with the running backs in the first quarter.
Yep.
Haven't seen that yet this year. So,
So again, you look at like what they're going to be able to do in the next 2 weeks. I'm really interested. I'm going to try to stay up late to watch Michigan State and USC. I think that game starts here in about 20 minutes, right? I'm confident we're going to be able to beat Michigan State at home.
I feel a lot better about the year after a loss. I feel better about the season today than I ever have about a loss.
I'm going to clip that right there and put that out into the universe so people can hear you say that.
I genuinely feel better about the rest of the season than I would after any other loss. You guys see the same stuff I see on Twitter. There's only so many
Husker accounts. There's only so many fans. It is so alarming to me that people get so, I don't mean emotional about the game. I mean emotional about the big picture.
The discussion.
Fans, we get into existential crisis conversations because of the result of one game or one quarter. I mean, there are people tweeting. I'm on my soapbox. There are people tweeting in the first quarter. The first quarter, season's over. And I'm like, well, then please go find somebody else to root for.
Yeah.
It's asinine. Like the way that, but if you guys, you know what? If we would have won the game and had the same issues, people would have said, playoff, here we come. And we would have got on this podcast, and you know what we would have talked about? We're still taking bad angles to tackles from the defensive backfield. Yeah. We still get linebackers who get sucked up and get taken out of plays. That stuff didn't change win or lose. You just were able to hide it against Akron and Houston Christian. I think this team can be very successful, but they have issues they have to work through. A win wouldn't have changed that. If Hunter doesn't step out of bounds, we score a touchdown, we pull within 3 going into the fourth quarter. Who knows what happens? And maybe we win the game, and then people are like, oh, CFP, here we come. It's the same team.
Yeah.
But because we lost, we got people who are like, oh, man, like, I don't even think they're going to get to 7 wins. And I'm like, really? Like, what? Michigan is a good team. I know they struggled last year. They beat a national champion last year. And now they have a better quarterback.
Yeah. I think some of it you can probably contribute to the hype leading it up to game day. There was a lot this week, rules on every, I mean, he was with Portnoy, Will Compton, McAfee. You got busting with boys coming into town. Like, I think a lot of people consume a lot of that and get their hopes up. And I'm not saying I don't want that stuff to end, because it's good. It's good for the brand. It's what Rule wants to do. But I think you consume all that stuff all week, and you can really start to believe that something real big is going to happen. And then it feels like we step on that stage, and again, we can't win. And then it's easy to just ignore the minutia of it and progress. So,
you know, to that, Andrew, like you said this at the very beginning, this did not feel like a loss to me that Nebraska's had in the last 8 years.
Right. It's a 1 score, but it wasn't the same type of 1 score loss.
Again, no, like, you know, what Nebraska's experienced in the last 8 years is somebody makes a bonehead play. Mm-hmm. Somebody fails in clutch time. Someone drops a ball, fumbles a ball.
Yeah.
We give up a 99-yard drive in 2 minutes, Northwestern, 2017, 18, 19. Like, that was not this. That was not this. And I just think, you know what? Again, we talked about this on Tuesday. The other team is trying to win the game too.
Yeah.
Michigan wanted to win the game too. And they won.
Yep.
You can't hang your head. You can't put your tail between your legs. You just pick yourself up and wake up tomorrow and get better.
Pardon me, guys. I'm pulling out my calculator for 1 second.
What are you calculating?
Yards per carry without sacks for us today.
What was it?
Yes.
So 20.
It wasn't terrible. I mean, it wasn't great, but it was
3.2.
3.83.
Okay, that's bad.
Not great. Not good. I mean, let's call it what it is. Not good. But you're in the game there. Like,
yep.
You take out the sacks, you feel a lot better because you go from 1.4 yards per carry to 3.8.
Well, I think if you don't have the sacks, it just changes the way you call plays, right? And it changes
100%.
the way it changes but you're at a 2nd and 10, so you call a different pass play. You might even run the ball on 2nd and 10, catch them sleeping, and bust off a 5 or 6 or 7 yard run. So,
and I mean, I think if you take out now I got to look up the scoring runs. If you take out a 37, a 75, and a 54-yard touchdown run, what does that do to Michigan's yards per carry? Probably makes a big difference, right?
Oh yeah.
probably.
Like, I know you can't play that game, but it helps. We've talked
Put
about
things
this
in
before.
perspective.
Like, see the forest through the trees.
Yep.
Those 3 plays are inexcusable, but they happen in the game of football, right?
Yep.
Things can be fixed. I feel better about 10-2 today than I did 3 weeks ago.
That's incredible.
Okay.
Well, I look at the remaining schedule and I'm like, it's not like anybody else is a world beater, right?
Yeah. Well, James, I think you shared the tweet from an Iowa fan today. Like,
Yeah, I was going to read
Nebraska
that.
actually looks like they're on the up and up.
Yeah, let me read that for everybody. And this is from a guy named Hawkeye Matt. And I said, and Matt seems like a genuinely good guy. And I don't actually find a lot of Iowa fans who are civil on social
Matt's a good
media.
one.
And he said Nebraska lost, but I don't see them losing another game. Penn State. And I quote tweeted and said, always interesting to hear a more level-headed reaction from a fan of another team, much more rational than the world is ending reaction of so many Husker fans. Right. But we do that. We watch another team play and we come away, whether it's Thursday night or Friday night game, or maybe it's tonight, and maybe tonight at midnight or 1 a.m. I'll tweet, like USC, let's say USC scrapes by. They win by 3. I say, man, USC seems like a good team. I think they're going to win a lot of games. USC fans are going to be melting down. Like, we can't believe we've only beat Michigan State by 3. And I'm like, welcome to the Big Ten. Well,
yeah.
Every game's decided by 3 points unless you're Indiana. So we do that with other teams. And I just think try to take off your fan glasses and listen to the voice of other fan bases. And what did they see when they watched your game?
Yeah.
Because they are actually looking at it, even if they hate you, somewhat objectively.
I'll tell you one thing too, boys. I really got to figure out what goes into these QBR ratings, because the fact that Dylan's QBR was 64.7 today and Bryce Underwood's is 72.3.
Weird.
I mean, that's a calculation.
I don't know. Yeah.
What is that calculation? Does Dylan just get
has
hampered for all the sacks?
It's got to be because of the sacks.
And the pick.
It's got to be.
The 1 interception.
Yeah.
But
and
3
yet
touchdowns.
Underwood didn't have a touchdown.
No.
Right. Yeah.
He was 54%, 4.8 average. Weird. I don't know.
Boy, the CBS crew loved them and Bryce Underwood afterwards. They were like, we're seeing this young phenom grow before our eyes, and he's able to push the ball downfield. And I'm like, I don't know if he really did that during this game, but whatever.
Yeah, and I don't know that Bryce Underwood is the reason they won the game. I saw a tweet from a Husker fan who said if he was an average quarterback right now, this game would be over. And that was in the third quarter. And it was just, you could tell, like, okay, I know Michigan, they have a good running team, or they're a good running team. I don't think their offensive coordinator trusts him to throw down. They didn't throw anything downfield.
No,
he
took
throw
one shot at the end zone?
Yeah.
After the missed halfback pass. Probably should have completed that ball. I mean, Andrew Marshall got beat on that.
Yep, he did.
Yep.
So I don't know. I was like, he'll be a really good quarterback. He'll be a great quarterback. But I was like, yeah, they didn't put the game on his shoulders. He's not the reason they won the game.
Right.
No.
All right. Well, that's about all I got. I think I don't know how I'm gonna try to stay up for this USC game. That's probably going to be a dumb choice.
I'll be texting you during it.
Great. And Andrew, your night is young, man. So you got to live with this for longer than we do.
Oh yeah,
I know.
You guys, I think Indiana has the ball with 2.5 minutes, and it looks like they are trying to score again.
Jeez.
Signetti would
70.
too. Oh,
It's because it's.
Let's look for the Bielema Signetti confrontation at the end of the game. That'll be interesting.
I can't wait to watch that handshake. All right, we'll sign off there, everybody. Again, try to keep a level head. It's just one game. If we're dealing with the loss the next 2 weeks, okay, we could start to have the worried conversation. But again, Alex and I thought we'd lose this game 3 weeks ago, and here we are.
Yeah,
it's okay. It's all right. We'll get them next time.
Got 8 games left. 8 games.
Got 8 games left. Let's not waste them. All right, everybody. Enjoy the rest of your weekend. As always, go Big Red.